Hello and welcome to Sunday's edition of News Tonight. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. In the next half an hour, we'll get you all the news and updates from our country and from across the world. But first up, the headlines that we are tracking. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates Indian Agricultural Research Institute in Jharkhand, says Eastern India has the potential to unleash a second green revolution. In his radio address, Man Ki Baat, Prime Minister focuses on the girl child. Opposition Congress asks why was he silent on Lalit Modi controversy. Flood fury spreads to more states. Many pilgrims evacuated from Uttarakhand. 4 more Gir forest lions perish in rainwaters, taking the toll to 9 in Gujarat. And after 18 governments terminate bailout package to Greece, European Central Bank agrees to maintain emergency funding at current limits. The top story, Prime Minister Narendra Modi today inaugurated an agricultural research institute in Jharkhand. Calling for a second green revolution in his address on the occasion, he asked the farming community to adopt scientific methods to enhance food grain production, particularly of pulses, which India has to import because of shortages. Prime Minister Narendra Modi laying the foundation stone for an agriculture research institute in Hazaribagh in Jharkhand. Modi urged agricultural scientists and farmers to usher in a second green revolution to meet growing food demands in the country.
अब हिंदुस्तान में दूसरी कृषि क्रांति की संभावना कहीं है तो वह पूर्वी उत्तर प्रदेश, झारखंड, बिहार, उड़ीसा, पश्चिम बंगाल, आसाम, ये भारत के जो पूर्वी इलाके हैं वहीं पर से दूसरी कृषि क्रांति की संभावना है.
The Prime Minister also asked the farming community to adopt scientific methods to increase food grain production, particularly pulses, to overcome import shortages. He said the Indian farmer is lagging behind in availability of good quality seeds, water and power.
कृषि के क्षेत्र में आधुनिक शिक्षा मिले, उनको रिसर्च करने का अवसर मिले और वो अपने अपने क्षेत्र में उस भूभाग के किसानों का भला करने की दिशा में नए संशोधन करें, जिसको आगे चल करके लागू किया जाए, उस दिशा में एक महत्वपूर्ण प्रयास जिसके तहत आज एक संशोधन के क्षेत्र में एक इंस्टीट्यूट झारखंड को मिल रहा है.
The Prime Minister also made a pitch for the government slogan of per drop, more crop. He said the government was taking steps to train youth in soil testing so that such labs could be set up on the pattern of pathological labs for humans. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. The Prime Minister was in Jharkhand, but on the radio, Narendra Modi urged the nation to enroll in several welfare schemes launched by the government in recent months. Now, voicing concern over the declining sex ratio in the 9th edition of his radio program Man Ki Baat, the Prime Minister pitched for a campaign to save girls through the social media. Prime Minister Narendra Modi focused on women in his monthly radio program Man Ki Baat on Sunday. Raising concern over declining sex ratio, he urged people to enroll in 2 insurance schemes launched by the government. The government's flagship life insurance scheme offers renewable 1-year life cover of 2 lakh rupees for a premium of 330 rupees. The accident insurance scheme provides coverage of 2 lakh rupees for a premium of 12 rupees per annum.
हमारे घर में खाना पकाने वाली कोई बहन हो या बर्तन साफ करने वाली बहन हो या हमारे खेत में मजदूर करने वाली कोई बहन हो या हमारे परिवार में अपनी बहनें हो, क्या रक्षाबंधन के पवित्र त्योहार को ध्यान में रखते हुए हम 12 रुपये वाली या 330 रुपये वाली जन सुरक्षा योजनाएं जीवन भर के लिए अपनी इन बहनों को गिफ्ट दे सकते हैं?
Appreciating the initiative and pitching for a campaign to save the girl child, Modi asked all fathers to send their selfies with their daughters to him. In this context, he also mentioned the Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao initiative. In January, the scheme was launched in Haryana, where sex ratio figures are worrisome, according to the Prime Minister.
हरियाणा का एक छोटे से गांव का सरपंच बेटी बचाओ अभियान को इस प्रकार का मोड़ दे तब मन को बहुत आनंद होता है और एक नई आशा जगती है। इसलिए मैं अपनी प्रसन्नता तो व्यक्त करता हूं, लेकिन इस घटना से मुझे प्रेरणा भी मिली है और इसलिए मैं भी आपसे आग्रह करता हूं कि आप भी अपनी बेटी के साथ सेल्फी विथ डॉटर, अपनी बेटी के साथ सेल्फी निकाल करके #selfie with daughter जरूर पोस्ट कीजिए।
The Prime Minister also referred to the 3 social security schemes launched recently, which included Atal Pension Yojana and an insurance scheme for the poor. To take the initiative forward, he suggested that before the Raksha Bandhan celebrations this year, these policies should be gifted to as many women as possible. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Congress today led rival parties in criticizing the Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat address. Now, party leaders accused Modi of selling what they called only dreams and said that they were disappointed that he did not speak about Lalit Modi.
Focusing on a clutch of social issues, the Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat program once again touched a chord with audiences who welcomed his message.
जहां जहां सूरज गया, जहां जहां सूरज की किरणें गई, दुनिया का कोई भूभाग ऐसा नहीं था जहां योग के द्वारा सूर्य का स्वागत न हुआ हो।
मोदी जी के विचारों को जब रेडियो मंत्रणा या रेडियो पर इनका विचार आता है तो हमेशा सुनने के लिए पूरी जनता, पूरे विश्व की जनता सुनने के लिए, पूरे भारत की जनता सुनने के लिए इसको उत्सुकता सबके बीच में रहती है।
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने आज मन की बात के माध्यम से उन विषयों को चुना है जो साधारण हिंदुस्तानियों के जीवन स्पर्शी विषय हो, जो गांव की जनता के लिए, जो शहर के गरीब जनता के लिए आम जीवन से जुड़े हुए विषय हो, उन विषयों को चुना है।
But what sparked equal comment were things that were Prime Minister left untouched in his address.
And our Prime Minister doesn't have his face to talk about all his union ministers, but rather picking up small issues like this, and it is not going to help our country.
Everybody was expecting that the Prime Minister would break his silence on Lalit Gate. Unfortunately, today the Prime Minister failed to live by the standards he had set for himself and the standards he had espoused, he had promised he would set within his party and in his government.
The BJP defended Prime Minister staying away from the controversy.
Also speaks on subjects that may be relevant to them, maybe on suggestions sent to them. And many things that are in the interest of the country, he shares with them. So these are important initiatives of the government that involve and that are for the benefit of the people of India. And I don't accept the Congress party seeking to constantly politicize each and everything that is in India's interest.
Congress leaders also criticized the Prime Minister for maintaining his silence on the controversial issues that have been dominating the headlines since last week.
This is a functioning government, a working government is totally wrong. What promises Modi ji has given during the run-up to the elections in the last 1 year, they did not implement the programs. Also, one by one, the central sector programs, they are dropping it, and farmers are in distress.
The Prime Minister's address on Sunday marked the 9th edition of his radio program Mann Ki Baat. Modi praised his government by calling it Kaam Ki Sarkar.
काम करने वाली सरकार जब बैंक में
Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, heavy rains in Varanasi forced the Prime Minister to cancel his visit to the city. Well, Varanasi recorded 38 millimeters of rain in just 3 hours. Uttarakhand and Gujarat also witnessed the fury of floods. Now, 9 lions and many other wild animals died after they drowned in Shetronji River that flows alongside the Gir Wildlife Sanctuary.
Heavy rains led to the cancellation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Varanasi. Non-stop overnight downpour flooded the entire DLW ground where he was scheduled to address a public meeting. The Prime Minister was slated to announce schemes worth 2,000 crore rupees, including the Integrated Power Development Program.
बारिश की संभावना 2 से 5 के बीच में थी। उस हिसाब से निर्णय यही आया है कि कार्यक्रम वाराणसी आगमन का निरस्त हो गया है और आगे फिर कभी बनेगा। अभी कोई डेट तय नहीं है।
Elsewhere in the country, the flood fury continued to disrupt normal life. In Uttarakhand, evacuation of pilgrims had to be stepped up after rains caused the suspension of the Char Dham Yatra to Kedarnath and Badrinath. The Punjab government sent a high-level rescue team to oversee the evacuations at Hemkund Sahib, where bridges and roads were damaged. In Assam, Sonitpur and Lakhimpur districts were flooded. Gujarat saw a flood-like situation in Saurashtra that includes forest areas of Amreli. The death toll of Asiatic lions has climbed to 9 with the recovery of 4 more carcasses from the district. Carcasses of several other animals were also found.
शत्रुंजय नदी में बाढ़ आई है, उसमें 8 से 9 डेड बॉडी मिल चुकी है और ज्यादा मिलने की भी संभावना है।
100 जितनी टीमें हमारी काम कर रही हैं पूरा लोकेट करने का कि कहाँ पर क्या नुकसान हुआ है पूरे इस एरिया में। हमने सूचना दी है कि पूरे एरिया को स्कैन किया जाए, जिससे पता चले कि कोई जानवर कहीं पे नुकसान हुआ है तो वो लोकेट हो।
The Met Department said Bihar, Central and East Uttar Pradesh will receive good rainfall for the next 2 days as well. A western disturbance is also expected to affect hilly areas in North India, leading to moderate to heavy rainfall. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In other news, another accused in the Vyapam scam died under mysterious circumstances in a jail in Indore. The accused, Narendra Singh Tomar, is the 24th person linked to the Madhya Pradesh Professional Examination Board scam to die. Now, all of them were either accused or witnesses in the case. Tomar was rushed to a hospital after he complained of chest pain last night. A magisterial inquiry has been ordered into the death. Tomar was accused of arranging imposters who wrote answer papers in place of genuine aspirants. The special investigating team probing the scandal had recently submitted a list of 23 deceased to the Madhya Pradesh High Court. The most high-profile death was that of Shailesh Yadav, son of Madhya Pradesh Governor Ram Naresh Yadav, in March this year.
वो रात में से चेस्ट में पेन हुआ है, फिर हम लोग एम्बाई लेके आए और एम्बाई में सीएमओ साहब को दिखाया, उसके बाद थोड़ी देर बाद इसकी मौत हो गई।
व्यापम के मामले में लगातार जो मर्डर हो रहे हैं, हत्याएं हो रही हैं, उससे ऐसा लगता है कि मध्य प्रदेश के अंदर एक दिन ऐसा आएगा कि जितने लोग जेल में भी है व्यापम से संबंधित, सबकी हत्या कर दी जाएगी। व्यापम की सीबीआई जांच नहीं होगी जब तक इस तरीके से मध्य प्रदेश में हत्याएं होती रहेंगी और लगातार पूरे मध्य प्रदेश में जब से व्यापम घोटाला पकड़ में आया है, हत्याएं हो रही हैं।
And more updates from across the country in Nationwide. An earthquake measuring 5.6 on the Richter scale rocked Assam, Meghalaya, West Bengal and Bhutan at 6:35 in the morning today. 3 people were reportedly injured and a lion sculpture of an ancient temple was damaged in Guwahati. The epicenter of the tremor was in Kokrajhar. At least 2 armed suspected militants were killed today in a gun battle with security forces in Meghalaya's North Garo Hills district. Acting on intelligence inputs, a special team and troops from Assam's 19 Dogra Regiment raided the hideouts last night when the incident took place. An electric multiple unit local train crashed into the dead-end buffer at Church Gate in Mumbai and caused panic among the commuters. Eyewitnesses claim the train got decoupled and it jumped in front of the platform upon hitting the buffer. The cause of the mishap is yet to be determined. A 5-year-old girl died after she fell into a borewell in Patna today. The minor was pulled out from the borewell in an unconscious state after 5 hours and rushed to a hospital. She was declared dead on arrival. All right, we'll take a very short break here. Up next, an explosion due to coloured flammable powder during a water park party in Taiwan injures over 500 people. Details to follow after a short break. Stay with us.
Tradition dating back centuries. A cultural heritage that inspires and warms at once. Magic that awes. Rajya Sabha television brings you events that embrace the wonders of India's classical arts. Conversations with the biggest names in the culture and music. Rajya Sabha Television, Democracy at Work.
Welcome back after the break. Let's move on in the bulletin now. Well, at least 2 Indians were among the 27 people killed in the bombing at a Shia mosque in Kuwait City on Friday. The Indian embassy has issued advisory to take precautions after the attack. President Pranab Mukherjee expressed concerns of the attacks in Tunisia and Kuwait. Remember, a suicide bomber had struck a mosque in Kuwait on Friday during the prayers, killing 27 people and injuring 227 others. On the same day, 39 people were killed when a man opened fire at a packed holiday resort in Tunisia. Now, Islamic State is suspected to be behind both the attacks. Now, External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj urged Southeast Asian countries to explore avenues in India to help Prime Minister's Make in India initiative a success story. Now, speaking during a conference in Thailand, she also asserted India's commitment towards Act East policy to boost its ties with the nations. Now, Sushma Swaraj is in Thailand on a 2-day official visit to attend the 16th World Sanskrit Conference.
During her 2-day visit to Thailand, External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj pitched for a stronger relationship with Southeast Asian nations. Under the Modi government, India's Look East policy has been morphed into a proactive Act East policy. Sushma sought to have the Southeast Asian nations to join hands to develop India and exploit various investment avenues. In an effort to boost PM's pet project Make in India, she urged the business community in Thailand to help boost employment and improve infrastructure.
I urge all of you also consider the avenues for collaboration in India, so that you could also contribute to the ambitious initiative Government of India aimed at bringing welfare to its citizens.
Sushma also spoke about the importance of strengthening bilateral relations with Thailand in fields of commerce, culture and connectivity.
There is new level of interest from across the world in building partnerships of trade, investment and innovation in India. I invite all of you to also become a part of this mission. We would be happy to provide all necessary support in your endeavour.
Sushma also co-chaired the 16th World Sanskrit Conference in Bangkok. The two countries will sign an MOU on establishment of Nalanda University. An MOU on establishing an Ayurveda chair in one of the Thai universities is also on the agenda. Sushma is expected to co-chair the India-Thailand Joint Commission meeting, during which both countries will sign a double taxation avoidance treaty. They will also exchange instruments of ratification on extradition treaty signed between them in 2013. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, India has reiterated the urgency to expand the United Nations Security Council's permanent membership for its inclusion. Now, India's bid for a place at the high table has been backed by the United States, UK, Australia and other countries. Now, India said that the efficacy of the UN was undermined due to its skewed representation. As a result, it was not being able to contain violent crises around the world. Since its inception, the UNSC has had 5 permanent members with the powers to veto resolutions.
Change in the last few years has been a focus into the process of how to create the additional seats that are required in order for countries like India to become permanent members. It is our hope that in this session of the General Assembly, which ends on the 14th of September this year, that we will be able to agree on a process to create the additional seats. Unfortunately, the last 70 years have shown a mushrooming of crisis all around the world. And the latest statistic of 60 million people displaced by war speaks for itself.
And in the big developing international story, in a major relief for the cash-strapped Greece, the European Central Bank has said that it will maintain its emergency funding at the current level. Now, this even as the uncertainty over Greece's future grows, as Eurozone rejected a bailout extension proposed by the Prime Minister there. The bailout for Greece expires on Tuesday.
The future of Greece hangs in the balance, as Eurozone Finance Minister shut the door on extending a credit lifeline to Athens, leaving it to face a default. This comes after the Greek PM Alexis Tsipras requested to extend the bailout program beyond the June 30 deadline to repay loans to the international creditors. The European Central Bank's Governing Council has decided to stop emergency lending, something key to the Greek banks in the hours of crisis. However, the European Central Bank extended its support to Greece as they said that they are ready to maintain the emergency funding at the current limit.
I've always said and will say that the door is open. It was not the institutions that walked away from the last talks last night. It was the representatives of the Greek government, not us, that said the talks have come to an end in a negative way. It was the Greek government who have said what is on the table now deserves a no. The process hasn't ended. It'll never end, probably. We will continue to work with Greece.
Man muss ja damit rechnen, dass bei dieser Entscheidung in den kommenden Tagen Griechenland in akute Schwierigkeiten kommen wird.
Greece's parliament on Sunday gave a green light to Cyprus' bailout referendum on July 5th on creditor proposals for reforms in exchange for loans. They are yet to vote on whether to accept or reject the latest terms offered by creditors to Athens.
The refusal of the Eurogroup today to endorse our request for an extension of this agreement will certainly damage the credibility of the Eurogroup as a democratic union of partner member states, and I'm very much afraid that that damage will be permanent.
The Greek PM's move comes after 5 months of negotiations which ended in stalemates, with Greece accusing the creditors of trying to take harsh austerity measures. Greece has a €1.6 billion debt due to the International Monetary Fund, which will expire on Tuesday. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now to a big story from East Asia, where more than 500 people were injured when an explosion ripped through a party near Taiwan's capital Taipei late on Saturday. Around 200 of them are in intensive care with major burns. According to footages available of the incident, a ball of fire ripped through the crowd attending the celebrations at a water park. Now, according to preliminary reports, a coloured powder apparently ignited after being discharged from the stage onto the audience. Authorities have banned the use of the powder until the investigation is completed. Health officials have said that most of the victims have suffered over 50% burns and they have inhaled large sum of black carbon dust. The organisers of the party have been detained for questioning.
现场的一个勘查报告里面的内容，做了一个初步的一个判断哈，因为在现场的瑞博国际公司特别
于在新北市境内立刻禁止任何的粉尘的活动，同时也跟中央消防署协调。
今天我以非常沉痛、震惊的心情来探视这次八仙乐园粉尘爆炸案的伤患。当然在加护病房的那些。
And more international news in Global Buzz. Talks on Iran's nuclear program are set to go on beyond Tuesday's formal deadline for the deal. Iran, US and European negotiators are intensifying efforts to curb Iran's nuclear program. EU Foreign Policy Chief has said that the agreement will be tough but not impossible. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu accused world powers of approaching a bad deal. The man suspected of decapitating his boss and pinning his head to the gates of a gas factory in France sent a selfie with a severed head. The selfie pictures was sent via the WhatsApp messaging system to a phone number in North America. The attack happened on Friday. About 100 demonstrators gathered in central Tunis on Saturday protesting against terrorism after a gunman killed 39 people at a beach hotel in an attack claimed by Islamic State on Friday. The rally was organized by Tunisia's main opposition party, Popular Front. Now, the death toll in South Korea due to MERS increased to 32 after the health ministry reported another death today. A 55-year-old victim died late on Saturday. The total number of confirmed MERS cases in South Korea so far is 182. Well, on to some sports news. Well, tennis returns to its most famous site on Monday with Wimbledon set to get underway at the All England Club. Well, all eyes will be on Serena Williams, who is halfway through a calendar slam, the first in women's or men's category since Steffi Graf's feat that was way back in 1988. And in the men's singles, Rafael Nadal is looking forward to turning his season around, while defending champion Novak Djokovic remains one of the top favourites this year.
Top seeds in this year's Wimbledon Championship are busy training for the third Grand Slam of the year. Serena Williams is odds-on favourite to complete a year of Grand Slams in the pursuit of her sixth Wimbledon title. A seventh title will take her career Grand Slam titles to 21, just one behind Steffi Graf and 3 short of Margaret Court's all-time record. If she manages to win the title and the US Open in August, she would be the first tennis player to complete a calendar year slam for the first time in 27 years.
It doesn't make it feel any different, which I think is a good thing because I don't feel any pressure to win all 4, and I've been saying that, but I really don't feel that pressure. I mean, maybe if I were to happen to win here, then maybe I might start feeling it after that.
In the men's section, it would be a 4-way battle between defending champion Novak Djokovic, French Open winner Stan Wawrinka and former Wimbledon championships Rafael Nadal and Andy Murray. After a disastrous season so far, Nadal is looking forward to get back to his winning ways at the All England Club. Federer too is giving him a chance for another shot at the title.
Losing or winning doesn't matter, but it's good to be healthy on a surf race that the second surf race, second most important surf race in my career, without any doubt.
It's been the best preparation I've ever had for Wimbledon, for obvious reasons, because we have a week more on grass. But I'm sure that I'm not the only one saying that this year. I'm sure everybody will say the same.
However, top seed Djokovic remains the favourite. He hopes to bounce back from his disappointing defeat at the French Open this year. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And more sporting action in Sportsbeat. Australia defeated India 6-2 in the final group match of the Hockey World League semi-final in Antwerp. Chris Ciriello scored a hat-trick for Australia. For India, Virendra Lakra and Ramandeep Singh scored 1 goal each, but their efforts were not enough. India will now play the third-placed team from Pool B in the quarter-finals. Indian women's badminton doubles pair of Jwala Gutta and Ashwini Ponnappa cruised into the finals of the Canada Open. The pair defeated Japanese pair of Shiho Tanaka Koharu Yonemoto in straight games 21-17, 21-16. The third-seeded Indian pair will now face the top pair of FJ Muskens and Selina Piek from Netherlands in the final. Taking note of the fatigue factor, India is likely to rest senior players for the upcoming tour to Zimbabwe. Skipper Mahendra Singh Dhoni might be given a break when the selectors meet to pick the squad on Monday. Rohit Sharma and Suresh Raina are among those in running to replace Dhoni as the captain in the ODI series. Paraguay stunned World Cup semi-finalist Brazil in penalty shootout to reach the semi-final of the Copa America. Derlis Gonzalez slotted 2 penalties to help Paraguay beat Brazil 4-3 after both sides were ended on regulation time with a goal each. Paraguay will now face Argentina in the semi-finals. Well, that's all in this edition of News Tonight. Thanks for watching. Good night.